There we go. All right, we'll go ahead and get moving. Maybe. Let's work. Jeez. Who else is coming in? Okay. Video on if you can. Okay, more people. Okay, I'll give it a moment now. All right, just in case, since we're waiting around, I know it's only been a couple minutes. Um, we are gonna do a question and answer at the end, which can be any kind of topic, anything from like the weekend or anything at all. If we're in the middle of that and the Zoom cuts out because we only have 40 minutes total from when I started it, just go ahead and use not the same link, but if you look at the link, it has the URL up into like a question mark, and then it says like password something after that. If you just use the URL up to that question mark, I'll open up the window again, and the password is just that 433. I made it nice and simple. And that way we can do another session if anybody needs more time. Um, so we'll get into it. Basically, the topic is helping with the decision making, because that question was coming up quite a bit, and we're having an issue with getting stuck on a side or in an area and not being able to move forward or not being able to find the switch. So I'm going to try to help you know what the cues are, things to look for, and to help if you're see this picture or in this particular situation, what is the usual decision from that point? And that'll make more sense as we get moving. Sydney finally got in. Aaliyah, why didn't you help her? Just the smile, no answer. Just leave her to herself. All right. I'm not waiting around for more. We got quite a bit here, here. Share. We want to share this one. Okay. So in general, we have the red that's going to be defense. We have blue that's going to be our team. Um, it's just a general throwing players on here to show angles and what's available, not necessarily how you would normally find yourself. But we have a player with a ball here, support player, attacking option, and just various options thereof. What we're going to focus on is this player right here. She's the supporting player, and we're mainly going to be talking about the decisions on the wing, or like the half space between the wing and the center, half space between the wing and the center. Okay. JB, do you mind muting?
Oh, sorry.
No worries. So we have a ball on the wing. We have our support that is in the wing or in the half space. What I want you to focus on is the player that would be pressing you, since this will be you in this situation, is going to be most likely this defender. Ball comes back to a support. She's probably going to be coming into press. Yes or no? Okay, we got some head nods. So this is the primary person or what you are looking at for your decision. It'll be either before or after the pass because you can manipulate the situation as we start to learn what these parts are. But for right now, in its very basic form, we're directly behind the press. This is the pressing player, and we're the supporting option on the wing. Um, it's not going to work that way. So let's do this. I want you to think of an imaginary line directly to you. And this will be the inside of the press because this is where the ball is. So wherever the ball is compared to you and the press, this is going to be inside the press. This is going to be outside the press. We got that so far? Just shaking your head. We don't have that so far. Wasn't getting much of a nod from Ellie. Are you sure you got it? Okay, I can't see everybody. Let's see, can I open this up some more? Okay, so you can stay on mute, but I'm gonna be looking over at the gallery and hopefully I get head nods or anything. Go ahead and be unmuted and just interrupt me if you have a question. I'm not gonna be able to see if you raise your hand or anything like that, most likely. All right, so inside the press, outside the press. In general, so if you're inside the press, you get the ball here, you're looking to play that ball forward and somewhere on this wing. Maybe in the half space. We all understand what a half space is. We don't get nods from everybody. Are we sure we understand the half space? Okay. So you receive the ball on the inside of the press. You're looking to send that ball probably into this space here. Yes, it could be on the ground. Again, these are general, but in general, you want to play into space and forward when you're on the inside here. Because as she presses, we get this a lot. You try to play in, she's going to cut off the pass. You try to dribble in, she's going to cut off your dribbling run. So go away. Come on. We all know I love this software. So inside the press, you're looking to play. Now that could be this player giving the ball, going for a run, sending the ball for her. It can be the support pass, sending the ball, and then this player goes. The difference between those two is as soon as this pass is made, she's going to need to make this run. Okay? Because as soon as the ball comes back, one touch up. Otherwise, defense is going to be moving in, covering players on the run. We're going to run out of space. Okay? So if it is this close player, ball comes back, ball comes forward if she's making the run, and you got to make that run quickly. Or the ball can come back. Again, the ball needs to be played quickly. But if it's going to be this player, you have to hesitate your run until this ball is kicked. So the ball comes back as it's traveling, this player's already on the run, or as it's traveling, she holds her position until the moment it's kicked. You hear that thud, then you can turn because then you won't be offside. Even though she's here, the ball is still traveling towards you. You're not offside as long as you waited for the contact of the kick. Do we understand offside? Very, very small nods. Okay. So again, in general, let's put that here. So inside the press, outside the press. If you happen to be anywhere out here, ball comes to you. Again, what I've seen, we have the press coming in, and because the ball came this way, you might have not looked anywhere over on this side of the field. And so, or another thing that I don't care for, right, is you are facing the ball the whole time and you don't have the vision for back here. So, ball comes to you and you try to play the ball right back. She's already under pressure because she was the one with the ball. Ball's coming to you. This player is coming into press. And now what we're doing is we're putting ourselves in a very bad situation, a high pressure situation, right? All right. So this is why we find ourselves a lot of the time where we are playing here, we try to play out, it comes back in, and we're getting stuck on a side. So what you want to do is know if you need to receive this ball on the inside of the press, ball comes back, go ahead and play forward. It's not a boot. Again, a boot ball is getting rid of a ball without any intent. Okay? This is not a boot because we know the ball is coming back. We know she's on the inside of the press. So as she's starting to come in, the ball comes back, the ball comes forward, and we're playing into this space. She knows what's happening. She knows what's happening. That's why it's not a boot. Okay? It's a forward play. It could be on the ground or it could be in the air. You'll just have to judge, is there wind? Is it turf or grass? Okay? And how close are you to the penalty box? One of the reasons I put this white line here, this is about 30, 35 yards out. When we're playing out back here, further away from the penalty box, we can send this ball a whole lot easier. As all of this is happening, but it's closer than the 35, it's got to be a smaller touch on the ground. It can't be in the air. That way it's a smaller touch. Let's just say that you were here, the ball came in, smaller touch into this space because she's going to have to run and catch up to it. You hit it too hard, ball goes out or the ball goes out, especially on turf, right? So inside the press, you could make the step into this space knowing that you want to play a forward ball. This is telling your teammates already you're in a support position. Everybody knows that the press, whether she's coming or not, you're already on the inside press position. Ball comes back, tells this player, even though I just gave you the ball, I'm going to go ahead and run, which is perfectly okay because the inside press, send the ball, collect the ball, send the ball into this area. Good. If we see this position, whether she's pressing right now or not, you can position yourself early to be outside the press. We can still give that ball because there's still that green lane. You collect, and now what we are looking for is this gap. I'd rather play through this gap or over both into this space rather than playing back to this player. If you receive this ball, she closes it. She closes it. So now this isn't an option unless you know you can play up and over. That's when you can play back here. And that's when the ball can come out to the wide. And that's how we'll switch the field. Sometimes it's direct. Sometimes it can go through a mid-level player to be able to go to the far player. Yes? Don't worry, I have some video on examples on this, so it'll make a little bit more sense. Good. Caveat to all of this, yes, you get a ball here. She starts to cut off the lane. She becomes open. Is she allowed to get the ball? Yes or no? Are we sure? Because we said if it goes outside the press, it needs to switch. So I'm going to ask again. Is she allowed to get the ball? Now I'm getting both yes and no's. This player cut off the lane. You are an open player. This player steps into space. We have a gap between these players. Is she allowed to get this ball? Yes, I know. I tried to trick question it. It's perfectly fine. Yes, ball comes in. Unless she cut off the lane, ball is here. We have a green lane all the way to the player. She steps in, ready for a ball. She was cheating over this way. Maybe we've done this play a couple times this game. So now she's cheating the switch play. Sure, we play into here. Let's try not to play back this direction because we want, the closer we get into this box, we want this area here. We want to get the ball into this area here. And then if we have to be wide, we want the ball here at the corner of the penalty box or here at the corner of the penalty box. Okay? So we've already gotten our ball here. We have a player that can take space here. We have a player that can make the run on the far side. So she can turn with the ball. She can dump the ball to the side, maybe just get a direct shot as she comes up. Just take a shot from out here. Perfectly fine. Okay? That is the general. So you're looking at this player. If she moves in, that means this line moves and you're now outside the press. It's all based on the pressing player. She does not have to be in your face to be the press player. Okay? She's all the way out here. She's got a proper defensive line. They're keeping a good structure, keeping a good structure. So all we're trying to do is find our way through the structure. Here, inside, outside. She starts to press in and double. This is where the line is. This will typically be this straight line from goal to goal or a vertical line. Okay. So that means that you are outside the press here. You would have to be this close to be inside the press. So as she's doing, you're on the outside. If she cut off the lane, you know that you're going to need to drop and create that green lane for your player. Yes, I mean, technically, because nobody's moving, you could come here. But for the sake of this conversation, I would want you dropping. And since there's still not a green lane here, you're probably going to want to drop all the way to the inside lane. Ball will come back and then just right up the line. In this case, she'll want to be the one to go. And then we can talk about where players go after that. This inside the press and outside the press is the primary concept of what we're talking about. Go ahead and stop that. Let's bring up these. Put that over there. And where's my share? Share. Media player. There's no audio to this because it was just a bunch of commentators saying dumb things. I really don't care to listen to commentators during a game. I'll play it first. Let me know if it does not come through, if it's like choppy and you can't see it, and then we'll try to figure out something else. But I'll play it first. I made some notes on here. Can you see it okay? It's not moving yet. Okay, do you see things moving? Like the lines, they'll start playing in a little bit. Is it choppy or is it smooth? All right. So I'll go ahead and start it again. This is just talking about there. So pressing player, that dotted line that I had on the other software, inside press, he's going to be coming in, which would tell you that the ball needs to go forward. It could be, if he's making a run, it could be on the ground to this location for his run. It could be coming in, send a ball low to this player to come to, or if it's going to go high up and over, that's when he's going to want to turn and run. So how you deliver a ball, how we want to play, if we want to keep it shorter and move, or if we just want to send into a corner, all of these are going to be forward options typically. So delivering the ball in this particular video, he's going to send it long at some point. Yes. Oh, sorry. And then I had this is the outside the press. So he's going to receive on the back leg so he can turn. This is an option at the moment. This is an option at the moment. And then as the ball travels, he'll have to take one last scan to see, is this still a good option? Because obviously we still want to be able to switch and go forward. But does this player come in and press, or does this player come in? He's going to have to read it. So ball is played, back leg, he takes a look. What happens is this player ended up closing off the option almost because this player ran forward too early and he was tracking him, which cuts off this lane, but that's fine because it opens up the back. Another example. So what I have is him, you can see that he's looking, but I just put that. So he's seeing the far side, which tells him he wants to be on the outside of the press. I don't think I put the dotted line on this one later. but he is outside the press player because he sees options on the far side. He could come in if he saw players to play forward. So this is how you can manipulate how to set up the next play. You know that if you're inside the press, play forward. Your teammates know if you're inside the press, you're going to play forward. And that allows all of us to be able to know what the next play is going to be. He sees that there's something open on the far side, so he positions himself outside that press. He's going to receive the ball. Oh, I can't do it by just clicking. There we go. Oh, there's the dotted line. He's outside the press because of what he sees on the far side. Ball comes in, back leg, up and over to the wing on the run. Next. So he's on the outside of the press. Ball comes in, back leg, switch the field. And that's the fullback right there. Because this is Liverpool in yellow. Go ahead and play it again. Ball comes in. You can already see this is the fullback, Trent Alexander. He's already making that run because he sees his teammate was on the outside of that press. The ball comes in. He knows it's going to be switched. So Salah's already on the run. Trent is already on the run. And we're going to switch that play into the space. Or they will. Okay, outside the press. You need to make sure you look to see is that the best option for your team. Collect. Well, he collected near foot. I don't like that. And he gave a crap ball. But it was hard to find examples. This is Rodri. He's injured at the moment. He's arguably the best defensive midfielder, specifically the best pivot in the world. I think he has a couple examples in this one video. So instead of going near, because remember how I said when you're in that 30, 35 yard, you're getting closer to the penalty box area. You don't want to really send that ball forward or send that ball definitely up and over, because if you did, it's just going to end up in the corner, or worse, it's just going to go out of play, right? So here, instead of coming in to make that play, he waits back here. He's keeping the press back. He's keeping space. So he's allowing his teammate, rather than bringing a defender with him with the cover, he's allowing this space to stay open. Oh, there we go. Ball comes all the way back. In this case, it wasn't quite the switch. He played through the gap. This player decides to play out, which was not quite the right way, but he stumbled with the ball anyway. And then it resets again. So if it doesn't work, decisions, defenders, whatever the case may be, again, just cycle the ball, sees where that pressing player is. He needs to see what options are available. Does he need to come inside the press or stay outside the press? Yeah, he stepped backward, not because of this pressing player so much, but because this secondary player was coming in. So stepping away and still outside creates more space between the press, more space between the secondary press, allows him to receive back leg, and he plays to the mid-level, out to the forward player. Okay, I wanted to put this one in here specifically for the fullbacks. Ball gets played. And even though this isn't quite, this part isn't what we're talking about, I just wanted to show you have any position, but yes, fullbacks. You have space in front of you and you get the ball, bring the ball, take the space. It's okay. So fullback gets the ball, sees that there's space, takes that space quickly. And then As he's starting to get a press, as the line is here, he can't really pass. The runner can't go early or else he would be offside. So you brought the ball forward, you did all that effort. It's perfectly fine here to hand off to the wing, who is relaxed, didn't make that long run. She's got energy. So take the space, give to the wing. The fullback becomes that wing position. And now we go ahead and look. So we have the pressing player here. I might have done it too early. Hopefully I have the dotted line to show, but you can see he's outside the press because when he takes a look, we can see that far side player. And that's why you want to position yourself there versus inside, sending to that fullback again. So Declan Rice is on the outside, back leg. He gives to the medium player, and then I cut it off. All right, these are going to be a little bit different. What kind of timing do we have? Again, if the Zoom cancels out, we all understand use the URL link, but only up to right before the question mark. Put that in your browser because I just got the notice that we're about to run out of time. Use the password 433. I'll start the session up again. It'll get you in. Okay? If not, I'll send out another link. But we're almost done with this concept. This is progressing. So now that we know how to position ourselves, we know what to look for with the pressing player. We know that we can position ourselves on the outside press to go switch the field, inside the press to be able to go forward. Here, I wanted to show some examples of the pressing player, the gap, the first pressing player to the person with the ball, and how to adjust your position to be inside press to be able to set up the attack right away. Not collecting and then trying to see, but understanding your movement to the inside press not only tells your teammate to give a ball here so that you can send a ball forward, so that your teammate knows that it is coming forward for the attack. Do we understand? Okay, so that's what these next examples are going to be. So movement to the inside of the press, ball comes forward quickly, and then we play to the next space. Collect, we have the gap. So we want to break that gap. Player's going to come to the inside press, touch, touch. And then I love that. He give the ball to the wrong side of the player, and then he puts his hand up. Again, come to the inside of the press. Come see it. Oh, that should have been with the other groups. So he comes near, we play forward, and because it was near the midfield, now we're at that prime attacking location at the corner of that penalty box. Okay. Again, this is going to close out soon, but any questions on this first, and then we'll go to any questions, period. I'm guessing everybody's going to be quiet. Anybody have a question? So everybody gets this concept right now, right away. We're not going to have difficulty knowing where the ball goes. So in our next game, our next practices, which by the way, our next game might get rescheduled, by the way. But in our next game, we're going to see this, right? Especially if we can actually get outside, hopefully Wednesday. So I'll let that be. And I'm pretty sure this will also be a no, but does anybody have any questions right now about anything, including the last game? Because I know people came to me with questions at the game. Or don't feel comfortable saying it in front of everybody, huh? Yeah, I saw eyes going side to side. Mm-hmm. That's fine. Um, at the risk of being cut off in the middle of a sentence, I didn't answer too much of the questions at the second game because of what I talked about at the end of the game. It was a mental fatigue game, a physical fatigue game, and a lot of the questions were based off of more mental fatigue. Like, a lot of people are saying, I don't know what to do, but we've seen it. I've seen it over and over. You know how to play this game. It was just a mental fatigue. That not only were those two difficult games physically against the two highest ranked in our group. Um, I can't remember. Both of those are ranked somewhere around 50 in all of California. Like one was like 60 something, the other one's like 40 something in all of California. They're also like 100th or 200th in the nation. Okay. So very physical games. Um, the second game, if we only had the one game, would have been perfectly fine, but mental fatigue. If you have questions at any time, go ahead and send those to me. Um, I can answer those after the fact. I can answer those after a game for the most part. Sometimes I won't answer because you are tired, and I don't want to just give you information that you might just kind of in one ear, out the other because you're already tired. What I would suggest is you actually have your journals again, write questions in your journal, and then shoot those to me, and then I can get those to you. Yes? All right. And those of you that don't have journals, mainly it's going to be Julia and Kayla. Everybody else should have journals from before. Jenny, were we doing journals since you've been on the team? Okay, so Jenny, Nika, has it been that long? Nika, do you have a journal? You don't know. All right, so it's been a while. All right, so I will get all that together too. Roxy, I'm sure then, because that's that whole group. So I will get that information out and teach you how to start your soccer journal. And I'll get that out to Julia and Kayla as well. We're done. Since nobody has any questions, and I don't want to get cut off in the middle of talking. All right, go ahead, go away. Bye bye.